Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you're well. My name is Harry and this is Learn English with British Harry. Today we're going to look at 20 essential British English business phrases. So let's get started. Right, so the first phrase is pick your brains. Pick your brains? Can you pick someone's brains? Well, this means to ask for advice or to get some ideas. For example, you could say, I'd love to pick your brains about the new client pitch. So when you pick someone's brains, it's an informal way to ask someone for their opinion, to ask them, what do you think about this? Can I pick your brains for a second? So it's quite a common phrase, an informal phrase that you will hear very often. The next one is, do you have a minute? Do you have a minute? So this is a polite way to ask for someone's time. So here we're using the word minute because it's a short time frame. Rather than saying, do you have an hour or do you have 10 minutes? You're saying, do you have a minute? So the other person knows that it's not going to take a long time. So they're more willing to engage with you, to talk to you. So for example, do you have a minute to look over this report? So to look over means to check. Maybe you want a second opinion and you just want someone to have a look through your email or the report. So you can ask them to look over the report. I'm also going to be starting a paid group speaking class. This is a fantastic way for you to improve your English with other students. There's no pressure. It's in a very relaxed environment and you can really practice your English speaking. If you are interested in this class, please email me at info@britishharry.com. The next one is bounce ideas around. So when you bounce around, so think about bouncing. So you can bounce a ball, and when you bounce ideas around, you are thinking of ideas. So you are trying different ideas. You can bounce something off someone else. So you can bounce ideas off someone else. You could say to someone, can I just bounce this idea off you? So you're getting their feedback as well. So you could say, let's grab a coffee and bounce some ideas around for the project. So it's quite an interesting phrase, to bounce ideas around. The next one is first thing tomorrow. So first thing tomorrow, this means that you are going to do something that's urgent early the next day. You are not going to put it off until the afternoon or the evening. And it's a very common phrase because maybe you have a request and you don't have access to the information that you need. So by saying to someone, I'll do it first thing tomorrow, it's a way to show that you understand it's a priority, it's very important. So it's on the top of your to-do list and you will do it as soon as you can. So for example, I'll send you the draft first thing tomorrow morning. The next one, to drop someone an email. So when you drop someone an email, it's to send someone an email. So you are not just dropping it off. It's an informal way to say that I will send you an email. For example, I'll drop you an email with the details. So it's quite a common phrase. Next up, we have jump on a call. So when you jump on a call, you're literally not actually jumping on the telephone. This means to join a phone call or a video call. So for example, if you had to say to a colleague, James, can you jump on this call quickly? So this is when you want someone to join the phone call, or it could be an online meeting. So for example, shall we jump on a quick call instead of emailing back and forth? So sometimes when you're sending emails, it can take too long. So you send someone an email, you have to wait for the reply back. Sometimes it's easier and quicker just to jump on a call and have that discussion, have that conversation with someone. Now the next one, keep me posted. So keep me posted is to be informed about something, about the recent developments or any news, anything that's happening. So if, for example, you are going on holiday, but you still want to know about things that are happening, you can say to someone, keep me posted about the project. You can always send me a message. So you could say, please keep me posted on any updates from the client. So this is quite a common one, to keep me posted. This shows that you want to know what is happening, and it shows that you are proactive. So if anything changes, you can be quick to respond. Touch base. Touch base. So this is a short check-in or a brief meeting. So when you touch base with someone, you catch up. Say, for example, you are working on a project together and you have your own tasks, your team members, they have their own tasks, but you need to touch base every once in a while to know what is happening, so you are on the same page, so that the project is moving in the correct direction. If you don't touch base, then you can run into issues. You can run into problems where maybe someone has done something that clashes with the rest of the project, or it's not needed for the project. So I think it's quite important to touch base. So for example, let's touch base after the meeting. Run something past you. Run something past you. This means to ask for feedback or approval. Maybe you have an idea and you want to get the other person's attention. So by saying, can I run this idea past you? It's quite a polite way to say that I've got a suggestion. There's something that I want to talk to you about. So for example, can I run this idea past you before I send it to the manager? So here, maybe you want to check something. It could be an email that you are sending to a supplier or another business that you are connected with. So here you don't want to make any mistakes. So you want to check with someone else. To have a quick word. So this is an informal way to speak to someone briefly. So to have a quick word. And you'll hear it very often in the business setting. And because it's quite relaxed, there's no pressure. If you say to someone, can I just have a quick word? So you don't want to take up a lot of the other person's time. And so for example, you could say, can I have a quick word about the budget? Now, sometimes it could be connected to a heavy or serious topic. And by saying, can I have a quick word, is trying to offset the difficult subject. So offset, I mean to, in a way, balance. Maybe you want to talk about the budget and it involves making cuts, maybe to staff or services. And so you want to lessen the impact of how serious this topic could be. Brainstorm. Brainstorm means to generate and discuss something together, so collectively. If you brainstorm ideas, you can do this with other people, and you can do this with yourself actually. So you can brainstorm ideas. If you are thinking about, for example, where to go on holiday, you can brainstorm different destinations. In a workplace, you can brainstorm ideas, maybe to improve a project or to improve a task that you are doing. So when you brainstorm, you are coming up with different ideas. So for example, we're having a brainstorming session tomorrow morning. So here, some companies may get the staff together and they discuss different ideas. And sometimes when you have less pressure, you can actually come up with good ideas because you don't have to think about it so seriously. And sometimes you could come up with a creative idea by brainstorming. The next one, debrief. So when you have a debrief, this is when you review what happened after a meeting or project. And sometimes it's nice because when you have a debrief, then you can see what went well, what went bad, what you need to improve. So for example, let's have a quick debrief to see what went well. All hands on deck. So this is a little bit old-fashioned, all hands on deck. So this means that everyone needs to help out. And my understanding is that it comes from a ship. So the deck is the big part of the ship, which is level. And when you get all hands on deck, it's when everyone is working together to solve a problem or improve something. So all hands on deck, this is when everyone needs to help out. So for example, we'll need all hands on deck to finish this by Friday. So maybe there's a deadline and you are running behind schedule, so you need to catch up. So this means that everyone has to maybe cancel their holidays. They may have to work extra hours in the evening or at home to make sure that you can finish the project by Friday. Micromanage. So micromanage, this is when you control every small detail of someone's work. What do you think about micromanaging? Have you ever had a manager that micromanages you? I think generally it's a bad thing in my opinion, because when you are micromanaging so much, it can suffocate the other person. By suffocating, I mean that you don't feel relaxed and you feel on eggshells, so you can feel anxious, and it's not a very nice place to work if you have someone micromanaging you, seeing and checking every small thing that you are doing. So for example, nobody likes to be micromanaged. On the same page. Now, another way to say this is singing from the same hymn sheet. So these two phrases are very similar, on the same page or singing from the same hymn sheet. This means sharing the same understanding. So when you are on the same page, so if you have a book, for example, that you are reading, if someone else is reading the same page, then they know, I know what has happened before. So when you join a company, you have to catch up with the procedures, the HR procedures, the projects. You have to go through the previous person's emails, and you have to be on the same page so you know what is happening. And singing from the same hymn sheet. So a hymn sheet, so a choir in a church, they would sing from a hymn sheet, and if some people are not on the same page, then you won't understand the song because it will be confusing. We need to make sure we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. Streamline. When you streamline, you make a process more efficient. So streamlining, you can do this in a business. You can even do this in your own life. So for example, if you batch cook meals, you are streamlining your diet. So if you batch cook, I don't know, like chicken or vegetables and rice, you have enough food for 1 or 2 days. And this saves you time because you're not wondering about what do I cook today. And it can make your life more efficient because you have time to do other things or to do more hobbies. So for example, we've streamlined the process to save time and money. And you see this a lot in companies. And this may even happen more in the future with AI. So companies can use AI to streamline their process, the way they work. So they can use AI to generate ideas or fact check their work. Scalable. So scalable is capable of being expanded or grown without problems. So scalable, for example, if you have a small business and you are selling some products, if you have 10 orders a day, that may be manageable. But what if all of a sudden you get 1,000 orders per day? How can you make the order process scalable? How can you fulfill these orders? Well, you need to think about maybe hiring more staff, maybe speaking to the company where you are getting the products from. So when something is scalable, it's able to expand as the needs grow. So for example, the business model isn't scalable yet. Bogged down in the detail. So if you are bogged down in the detail, this means you are stuck focusing too much on the small things. So this is quite a nice phrase, when you are bogged down. So bogged down, you are focusing too much on the details. So say, for example, creating a YouTube video. Maybe you are focusing too much on how you look or having the perfect equipment or the perfect background, and this stops you from creating the video. So in the end, it's better to stop focusing so much on the small details and try to see the bigger picture. So for example, let's not get bogged down in the detail. We need the bigger picture. Circle back or come back to it. So these two phrases are very similar. So circle back. This means to return to a topic later. Maybe you are in a business meeting, you are talking about something, and you have a suggestion that may or may not be connected to the main topic, but you feel it's quite important. So someone else may say, okay, let's circle back to it later. So we'll come around to it, but you want to finish that main point first. So for example, we'll circle back to this point later. The next one, put it on the back burner. So when you put it on the back burner, this means to delay something or temporarily put it aside. So if you put something on the back burner, maybe you have things on your bucket list. So a bucket list is some things that you really want to do. Maybe you want to play the guitar or travel or go on a cruise, but you've got too many commitments. So you put it on the back burner. In a business setting, you may have suggestions for future projects, and you can put those on the back burner. So you're going to delay those and do the most important things first. So for example, that's a good idea, but let's put it on the back burner and revisit later. So this is a polite way, if someone has a suggestion, not to dismiss the idea, so not to make the person feel bad for their idea. And you're saying to them, okay, that's a good idea, and we can come back to it later when we have time. Perfect. Well done. You did a great job today. So let me know in the comments below phrases you like. Are there any phrases that you haven't heard before, or do you know these phrases? It would be good to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you, and bye-bye.